Hello, friends. I'm back. We have a lot to talk about. So, right now, there's a lot that's happening internally. There's internal shifts that are happening, and these are putting you back in the direction that you should be moving in. You're going back on your path. You're walking in the direction that God wants you to walk. And you're being given opportunities to do that. Basically, you're presented with certain choices each day that God is saying, do you want to walk in the same direction that you've been walking in for the past 12 years? Or do you want to walk in the direction of something new, something different? Do you want to show up as the person that you dream of yourself as being? Do you want to challenge yourself to show up as yourself? And that can be, it might not seem like it's possible, or that you're like, what do you mean show up as myself? Well, you have to show up as a person that's not a people pleaser, or a person that's not like just thinking about what everyone else wants. It's time for you to actually start to listen to yourself and your intuition more and say, like, well, what is that inner voice telling me? Which direction or what choice do I have to make that is in alignment with what that inner voice is telling me? And that, it's something you have to flow through. You have to kind of be able to, it takes time, where one day you're listening, it's a process. You keep hearing that voice, and then one day you ignore it, and then you start to see, well, what happens when you do ignore it? What changes come up? Or how do you experience certain setbacks when you don't listen to that voice? And how is that limiting you from being able to move forward or being able to show up as who you truly want to show up as? And putting that into perspective of like, okay, this is what happens when I listen to myself, and it feels like you're moving forward and it feels like you're progressing, versus when you don't listen to that voice and you focus on something different. Then what comes of that? And you want to keep this in tune. And what I mean by that is, when something doesn't go in the way that you want it to, keep that in mind and say, okay, I'm not going to beat myself up for that. It's okay. I didn't listen to the voice that time, but this is all a process that's teaching you, okay, well, this is why it's so important to listen to that inner voice, because it's directing you towards what you do want, and actually tuning into yourself and going in the direction that you do want to go. It takes practice, and you might go backwards one day, but then you go forward, and then you're like, okay, I feel like I'm back on path. I'm back in the direction I want to be going in. And you did that. That was a choice that you made. These are all little choices that you're making along the way to get you in the direction that you want to go to. And it's not happening overnight. It's just something that you're teaching yourself, like, okay, I have certain goals or certain direction I want to go in, and only I can hear myself through it, and only I can be my own guide and like cheerleader, and my own person that is actually encouraging myself, or that's being accountable towards myself. And when you're not doing what you wanted to be doing, instead of being, not only is this teaching you to be disciplined, but it's also teaching you to be compassionate towards yourself and be loving towards yourself. That it's okay that you didn't do it that one day or that one moment, but that doesn't mean that you're not a person that is accountable, or that doesn't mean that you can't be disciplined or whatever it is. It just means that you forgot about your own intuition, and you don't want to be defeated. You don't have to be defeated. You can actually take that and be like, okay, that day I wasn't really listening to myself, or that day I I let old patterns or I let other things take over, and I didn't make the choice I wanted to, but that's okay. I forgive myself, and I want to make a different choice moving forward. And yeah, it's all about just being kinder to yourself. You don't have to be you. This is a process of you being able to know it's okay to like figure it out along the way, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, this isn't an overnight process, but you are in charge of the destination. But the destination, the journey, oh my gosh, you are getting to a certain destination, and the journey is what matters. And the journey is more so about a relationship with yourself, and a relationship with being able to parent yourself in a different way, where maybe part of you was parented and it was like, okay, you didn't do this, like, you made a mistake, like, I'm so mad at you, why are you always doing this? Versus, instead of, that's not really encouraging. Like, hello, if someone's being mean to me, I'm not gonna want to do it anymore. Versus, if I'm kinder to myself, then it's like, oh, it's okay, you didn't do it today, but like, I believe in you, you can do it tomorrow. And actually, you can hold yourself accountable, and like, you don't have to be a mean parent to yourself. You can be a kinder parent to yourself. That's like, okay, how can I be encouraging, and knowing that mistakes happen, and like, we make choices that aren't in alignment with what we want for today, but we can also change it. Like, later on today, I have a choice or another opportunity where I'm able to actually show up with my goals in mind, or with, like, while I'm listening to what it is that I want for myself. And yeah, so this is part of you. Like, this isn't just about your goals. This is more so about you learning how to do that inner work, and knowing, like, no one else can take your power from you, and things don't have to look how they've been looking for however many years it's been. Like, if this has been a cycle and you're not happy with it, you get an opportunity every day to make a different choice. And that is just facts. Like, you're gonna be able to think, like, if you look back on your day and what's gone on today, you can look back and say, did I make choices that were similar to choices I would have made in the past? Or am I making choices that are moving me toward the person I want to be, or the type of goals or lifestyle I want to be living? And this isn't going to be like, oh yeah, I just one day I woke up and I just started doing everything perfectly, and I'm just like, I'm so good at life, like, everything's perfect. That's not how it works. It's more so a journey of you practicing this and building that muscle of like, okay, I'm listening to myself, or I'm learning how to care for myself in a different way. I'm learning how to be kinder to myself. And actually, self-care is actually saying, like, what it is that I'm working towards matters. All of the changes that I see for my life, I'm worthy of them. And you're going to have to get that other part of you that doesn't think you're worthy of it to jump on board and be like, hey, like, we're worthy of this. We're worthy of the type of life we want. And you can, we're gonna be okay. Like, you need to come pull up on the boat and we're gonna have to roll our way over there. But when you're beating yourself up, you're not gonna want to get on that boat. You're gonna be like, it's okay, I'll stay here in the mud. I'll just keep doing what I always do and just keep believing that I am not capable of doing anything, or I'm not capable of being happy. And it's not true. So just remember, there is another part of you that has already made it. This is actually destined. This is actually like something, the destination is destined. You're going to get there one day. And this is all about you being able to believe that, and seeing like, okay, in the past, that previous version of me, because of whatever reason, believed that I didn't deserve what it is that I want in the future. But right now, deep down, you feel like, okay, actually, life might actually be able to get better. So, what happens when I actually believe that and give that a chance to play out in my life, and instead of just letting the automatic play out? So you can have that, you can show up differently for yourself, and you can get out of your own way. Like, a lot of the time we're thinking about that same thing, that same reason for why it is that we're stuck in a certain place, and we keep replaying it, and we keep replaying that same story, and it's because it hurts. And that's why we're replaying it. That's why we keep talking about like, oh, I keep doing this because of this reason, or I can't do this because of this reason. We keep saying that because that reason or what we went through really hurt us, and we get stuck on it, and we get stuck in that, like, that narrative, and we're just like, well, this is it. This is why. And basically what that other version of you is saying is like, as soon as you let go of that narrative and you validate that for yourself, and say like, dang, that's I see where I came from, and I see why it is that I was feeling this way, or why it is I got to this stuck point. But it's okay. Like, it's safe. It's safe to make a different choice. You do deserve a different outcome, or you do deserve a different type of experience. And you're going to get there, because you're not meant to stay stuck forever. That's not how this story is meant to unfold. So just trust that there's a different experience that is at the end of this, and you'll start to see the more you start to believe it, the more that your reality will start to match that, and you'll start to see the changes of like, oh wait, there's little tiny changes happening. The more that I work on believing in myself and believing that there's a different type of lifestyle out there for me. And yeah, there is. Like, if that feels good when I tell you there's a different lifestyle than the one you've been living out there, and you're meant to experience it, and you will be experiencing it very soon, doesn't that sound amazing? Like, oh, I'll be experiencing that very soon. Okay, so what do I need to do right now? What do I want to do? Because since I'll be experiencing that very soon, then life is great. Like, I don't need to be in my way anymore. Like, I don't need to keep saying the same story, because amazingness is right around the corner. So yeah, the more you actually believe that there's a different outcome out there, the more that you will feel more confident in making different choices and getting yourself out of that heavy, like, stuckness that hasn't been making you feel good. And what else? What else? I think that's it. We'll keep it at that for today. But I'll see you guys again tomorrow, probably, because there's more we have to talk about, because we're in this journey together. Like, I've been here, I'm with you. Actually, I'm with you right now. So just trust. Trust. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna give you some more pointers or more support. So we're getting to our breakthrough together. Just trust. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.